Well, here we go, hour two. This is The Herd. Wherever you may be and however you may be listening, we're live in Los Angeles, iHeartRadio, Fox Sports Radio, and FS1. C-Web, Chris Webber, 15 years in the NBA, a five-time All-Star, was part of two of the greatest college basketball teams I've ever seen. Phi Slamma Jamma and the Fab Five, in my lifetime, are the most, I'm not saying the best, they're the most entertaining college basketball teams I've ever seen. Phi Slamma Jamma, Akeem, Clyde Drexler, Rob Young, Larry Michoud, and the Fab Five, Jalen, C-Web, Howard. That's as good as, that was when college basketball, and I'm not joking when I say this, felt as big as the NBA. I mean, it literally did. You had these iconic college players, Pat Ewing and Christian Laettner, would stay like 4 years. I always feel bad to 20-year-olds. I'm like, 20-year-olds, you don't understand how big boxing was 30 years ago when I started this. Boxing was massive. Some of the biggest personalities in the world were in boxing, and you don't understand how big college basketball was 30 years ago. I mean, you had teams with 5 NBA guys, and they'd all come back. As sophomores, they come back as juniors and seniors. I mean, college basketball, to me, I like college basketball as much as pro 25, 30 years ago. And then now it's like, it's guys are in, they're out. You can't keep track of all the players. But C-Web will be joining us in just a couple of minutes. I want to say this. One of the things I like about Charles Barkley, he takes big swings. He doesn't sit on the fence. He's not Captain Safe Take. He's not afraid to be wrong. It's one of the reasons I love Barkley. He's funny. He has big opinions. And he's not, half the guys doing this for a living are petrified to get called out for a wrong opinion. Barkley never is. He said about 2 weeks ago, like Steph Curry, KD's gone. They can't beat anybody. Well, Steph Curry's just elevated his game. Draymond Green elevated his game. So Barkley came on yesterday. He was on PTI or something and admitted to Kornheiser and Wilbon. He's like, yeah, I was wrong on that whole Steph Curry thing.
First of all, I was 100% wrong, but kudos to the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry has put his name back in the conversation, Tony. When we talk about the best players in the world, we talk about KD, Giannis, Kawhi, LeBron. Steph Curry's proven to us he's a 2-time MVP.
Can I just say this about Steph Curry? And maybe his parents get credit for this. I don't know. One of the things I really like about him, I get the same guy every day at work. It's why I love Duncan. It's why I love Brady. Like when you work with people, there's all sorts of talent in every business. It's hard to work with people. And I'll say this, Joy comes in every day. Grinder comes in. How you doing? Breakfast, do the show. I like that. Like in my life, in my life of broadcasting and radio and TV, I've been doing it for 30 years. I like the same coworkers every day. What if I was coming in one day hungover, one day mad, one day goofy, one day funny, one day joyful? It's hard. Steph Curry's the same guy every day. I like that about it. That's nothing against Westbrook, but man, I get a lot of different Westbrooks. But when you watch that Gotham Chopra documentary on Steph Curry, dad, same dad every day. Husband, same husband every day. Teammate, same teammate every day. He is so and that's why, by the way, that's when dynasties last longer. When your top player is the same guy every day. Spurs Duncan, that dynasty lasted over 10 years. Brady, that dynasty's almost 20 years. Warriors, dynasty's 5, it's got another 5 in it. Like Shaq and Kobe should have lasted a lot longer, but you got a different Shaq Tuesday to Thursday. That thing should have lasted a lot longer. And Steph Curry's personality is, and that's nothing against KD, get a little drama. Nothing against LeBron, get a little drama. Nothing against Kyrie, Jimmy Butler, Embiid. But man, I get a different dude a lot. And you watch that documentary on Steph Curry, and it's just, he's like human Alka-Seltzer. You know how you have Alka-Seltzer and you get too much salt in your food and there's disruption down there in the boiler and you're like, I don't feel good. You do Alka-Seltzer and it just fizzes up and like takes it away and you're like he's the human Alka-Seltzer. Steve Kerr admitted, he goes, when Draymond and Kevin Durant had their skirmish, Steph was hurt and wasn't around. And so Steph in the room like soothes and sandpapers all the rough edges. This is a current NBA dynasty. Of course they have fights. Of course they have skirmishes. This is about the time this stuff usually blows up. And you know what? It's not blowing. I mean, KD may leave, but he's not leaving because he doesn't like everybody. KD may leave for validation, other thing, but he's not leaving because he doesn't like his teammates. Like Steph Curry, and maybe his parents get credit for it, but I just love the fact that you just get the same Steph every day. 0 for 11, same Steph. 12 for 18, same Steph. Win, loss. It's the same dude. And I think dynasties tend to last longer when your star has an even keel demeanor, temperament, or personality. And, a Shaq could be angry, Shaq could be joyful, Shaq could be funny, Shaq could be give me the ball, Shaq could be a great teammate, and Shaq is all that and more. But it's hard to maintain 9 years together when you have inconsistent personalities driving the room. And that's just one of the many things I love about Steph Curry. And I love that Charles Barkley admits, I kind of whiffed on that one. A lot of different things. Dan Gilbert, owner of the Cavs, was doing all sorts of talking yesterday. And Dan Gilbert is actually he's a fairly remarkable businessman. He's from Detroit, and he buys Quicken Loans as a company. He goes, creates the Cavs, and then he puts a ton of money back in Michigan and Detroit, and there's kind of a renaissance. My wife's from there, kind of a renaissance in Michigan and Detroit, building that thing back up. Dan Gilbert, there's times he wears me out and has driven me crazy, and I've been very critical of him, but as a businessman, he's really, really good. And, he said something yesterday about LeBron, and it was really interesting. He said with LeBron, he was talking yesterday, there was a limited shelf life in terms of age and his contractual commitment. It was a win now at all cost. And, it all kind of revolves around the son, which is him. And whatever pressure comes with it, it worked out. We won a title. And, he's right. But here's what's interesting is that I'm going to look back, and this is not a knock on Dan Gilbert or LeBron, but they were together 11 years. And we got one title out of it. Now, I know it's Cleveland, so they'll take that title. But Russell had 11, Jordan 6, Kareem 6, Magic 5, Duncan 5, Kobe 5, Shaq 4. Right now, LeBron's in his 16th year. We got 3 titles, and I do not see one on the horizon. I'll make an argument, and you can blame Dan or LeBron, but that LeBron-Cleveland thing, it didn't give us nearly as many titles as it should. 11 years and 1 title.
People complain that the time he was with the Heat didn't give them enough titles. That was 4 years.
This is 3 times as long and half the titles.
Yeah.
Like, I'll look back at this, LeBron's career, and I will not ever criticize him for what he is, which is remarkable. He's the Swiss Army knife of the NBA. Love him. But I'm going to look back and go, Russell got 11. MJ 6, Kareem 6, Magic 5, Duncan 5, Kobe 5, Shaq 4. And all those guys were a shot or 2 away from another title. I don't know, Russell, I didn't watch those. But 11 years, 1 city, 1 title feels like they left a lot on the table. Well, he played for a decade and a half. He was a 5-time All-NBA All-Star, #1 draft pick by the way of the Magic. And Chris Webber's on the call tonight, Milwaukee and Toronto. First of all, C-Web, I got to start with this. Juwan Howard, your friend, gets the Michigan job. Did you call on his behalf? Did you know the process was going on here the last 2 weeks?
I don't care about Michigan, Colin. This is Charles Barkley. I'm walking with Steve Webb. I was watching
That's Barkley?
You earlier. I'm the same guy all the time, brother.
Where are you guys at?
We're walking to lunch. We got to go kiss the boss's ass, Jeff Zucker. He's going to sit down with us for the first time since he took over the job. So me and Chris are going to lunch to kiss his ass a little bit. But I was watching you earlier. I'm the same guy all the time, brother. I ain't no fake brother.
By the way, I just spent 5 minutes complimenting you.
I said thank you for the kind words. I was watching. Hey, I just called to tell you, man, I'm walking with Steve Webb in lunch. Thanks for the kind words. I know you called for Steve Webb, but thanks for the kind words, brother.
Charles Barkley, thank you very much. You know we love you. We talk about you often, and we love all the guys on TNT. Thank you. And come on anytime you want to come on.
All right, boy. Here's Steve Webb.
All right, C-Web. Well, I'll tell you this, C-Web. That's one of the great interview starts I've ever had in my career.
Hey, that's how you do. You want to get a little love, you bring the man on. How you doing, Colin?
I'm doing great. So give me the Juwan Howard thing. You obviously knew this thing was happening. You guys are friends. Did you call on his behalf?
I didn't call on his behalf. Colin, I don't know if that would have helped. I don't know, can I be on his behalf, very honestly. So the fact I prayed, with him, and definitely supporting him. But no, I had no idea that it was going to happen, and that's why for me it was definitely tears of joy, and it was because I know he wanted this. I've talked to him a long time about being the coach. Talked to him a long time about his efforts in Miami. Talked to him a long time about him working with players and the difference in culture, the difference in players, things that he had to prepare and humble himself to be in that position in the NBA. And so I knew that he wanted this, and so I'm just so happy for him, because a lot of people may think, hey, he's an NBA guy. He wants to know. He's the first dude to graduate on time outside of college. When he went to the league early his junior year, he still graduated on time. Michigan has been special with him. He recruited me there. I know there's a lot of stories about us going or who's the leader of this. It's about him recruiting me there, and so I'm just happy from playing with him in Michigan, playing with him in Washington, actually making a decision to go to one of the worst teams because he was there. Not smart on my part, basketball-wise, but definitely as a friendship and just to see his growth and development, man, I was so happy for him. So, no, I can't take any credit. I wasn't part of it besides just being his personal cheering section.
It's interesting. I was just saying before you came on, the two basketball teams in college that I remember and will forever, Phi Slamma Jamma and the Fab Five. And it does bum me out that the Michigan